Well, next, a 13-year-old boy is tonight starting a prison sentence for killing a complete stranger and then dumping his body on a bonfire. And following a request from Granada Reports, a judge has ruled that we can broadcast the name of the teenage murderer.
Jamie Lee Smith was on the run from a care home when he attacked Stephen Croft, a man 21 years his senior. After stealing from him, Smith then dragged his lifeless body onto a bonfire to cover his tracks. Andy Bonner reports.
It's an evening both children and adults usually enjoy together, but last bonfire night was the setting for a sustained attack on a helpless man by a boy of just 13.
Stephen Croft was drunk when, purely by chance, Jamie Smith happened upon him here in Birkenhead. He was on the run from a children's home and angry that he'd almost been caught. He took it out on Stephen, kicking him, robbing him and dumping his body on the bonfire.
Today, Smith was jailed indefinitely and told he must serve 13 years before even being considered for parole.
We will not allow this murdering piece of scum to destroy our family, and we remain stronger than ever. However, the void left by Stephen will never and can never be filled.
Stephen should have been wishing his mum a happy birthday on November the 6th. Now, thanks to Jamie Smith, it's a date she'll never celebrate again. Can I just ask you, in your own words, what you think about him?
Scum. That's the only thing you throw away that you'll never keep. And that's what I think.
At 13, Jamie Smith already has a history of violence. He's been convicted 8 times, including charges of common assault for punching another youngster in the face, robbery for taking another boy's bike and headbutting the victim when he resisted, and assault for kicking an older boy in the face. His last appearance in court was just 1 week before he turned on Stephen Croft.
Well, this was especially horrific in the fact that the body was badly burned, and the effects that it had on the officers and the people who'd attended, and for the family themselves who have to actually get over that. And we're hoping that the day will bring that to an end for them.
Jamie Smith was in the care of Wirral Council, so do you take any responsibility for his action?
He was in the care of the council under the supervision of the court. And what we're doing now is undertaking a multi-agency critical incident review, and we have an obligation, we think, to Stephen's family in particular and to everybody else to make sure that we find out exactly what happened here, what lessons, if any, can be learnt and put them into effect.
The judge says Smith is a public danger and poses a very high risk of re-offending. Andy Bonner, Granada Reports, Liverpool Crown Court.
Good evening and welcome to North West Tonight.
Also in the programme, jailed the 13-year-old who killed a man and threw his body onto a bonfire. A 13-year-old boy from Merseyside who murdered a man and then dumped his body on a bonfire has been jailed for at least 13 years.
Jamie Lee Smith from Birkenhead was on the run from a care home at the time of the killing. The family of his victim, Stephen Croft, say the sentence isn't long enough. Here's our Merseyside reporter, Andy Gill.
Jamie Lee Smith isn't 14 for another month, but he's now starting at least 13 years jail for murder. His victim, Stephen Croft's family, made their feelings perfectly clear.
We will not allow this murdering piece of scum to destroy our family, and we remain stronger than ever. However, the void left by Stephen will never and can never be filled.
Stephen Croft was described as generous and warm-hearted. He'd had a drink problem since an industrial accident. Smith, who has a number of previous convictions, was back in his hometown Birkenhead, having absconded from a care home in Lancashire. Care workers and his family tried to take him back there, but he became violent and escaped. Witnesses saw Smith and Stephen Croft talking together near the bonfire.
But in the early hours of the morning, Smith turned on Stephen, apparently taking out his anger with his family that they'd tried to get him back to the care home. He punched and kicked Stephen to the head, and although Stephen was very drunk, he tried to defend himself. Nevertheless, he died from his injuries. Then, in an effort to disguise what he'd done, Smith dumped Stephen's body onto the bonfire.
Until now, Smith's age meant the media couldn't name him, but the judge said the disgrace of public identification should act as a deterrent.
A truly horrific murder, mindless violence, and I'm glad it's come to an end today for the family, who I hope now will start the grieving process.
Smith murdered Stephen Croft on Stephen's mother's birthday.
Scum. That, the only thing you throw away that you'll never keep. And that's what I think. So that's my word I use.
Smith was under the care of Wirral Council at the time. It's launched a review of his care to see if lessons can be learned. Andy Gill, North West Tonight, Birkenhead.